Okay, so can you guys see my screen now? Hello? Are you guys seeing my screen? Okay, so where did we stop last meeting? Last week? So are we done with this one? This shapes with radio buttons. Finish? Okay. What about this one? Sample problem number 12, this bingo. Finish? I think we're done with this one, right? And how about random numbers? Are we done with random numbers? Anyone? Hello? Di ba kayo makapag-type? Or is your mic not working, guys? I just feel like you guys are not around. Hello? Miss Alvarado? Okay, thank you for your response. Okay, let me just check if everybody is already in here. Miss Reginald Gumilab. Okay, Miss Jelinda Maslog. Well, I'm sure she's here since she's the one
Present, sir.
responding. Okay, good. Working naman pala yung mic eh. So, it would be better kapag mic na lang yung gamitin. Okay, kasi mas mabilis. Kaysa naghihintay ako ng mga thumbs up. Yeah, what about you, Mr. Copper?
Present, sir.
Okay. Mr. Emilio Ben?
Present po, sir.
Mr. Gert Elad?
Sir, present.
Miss Feby Mangili?
Present, sir.
Okay, and Mr. Sawanen?
Present, sir.
Okay. And Mr. Kiano?
Present, sir.
And Mr. Nicolo?
Present, sir.
And Miss Stephanie?
Present, sir.
Okay, very good. So all of you are here right now. So I hope that after 10 minutes or 20 minutes of discussion, you guys are still there, okay? All right, so let's start now with let's continue now our discussion. So let's talk about random numbers. So random numbers from the word itself, so it randomizes a certain number. Okay, however, here in Visual Basic, it can only randomize 0 to 1. Okay, that's a limitation. But of course, we have another function called next. Okay, later on we'll discuss that one. Okay, so it is also a randomizer, but you have to set a certain range of number. But in here, when we see random numbers, we have this function RND close and open parenthesis. So just use this one, and then it will pass a random number to this left side variable. Okay. However, again, it will only randomize from 0 to 1. So it's 0, 0.05, 0.10, 0.50, and so on and so forth. So this is one example of this randomizer. So let's have an actual example of this one. So let me just open a project. I think I already have this one. Random function. Okay. All right, so I only have two components, a text box and then e button. So this is the one that we're going to program. So this is the code. Okay, just wait a second. Sorry for that. Ano kasing pusa. Okay, so let me just copy this one and then replace this code for now. Okay, single and then s round x plus 1. Alright, so in here we only have 3 lines of codes in total. So we have the declaration part wherein I declared a single variable. So this one could be any variable. So let's say x, so that's also possible. Okay, so any variable, okay? And then this is now the randomizer, okay? So RND close and up in parentheses. So whatever number it will be able to generate, so it will pass on our variable x, okay? Then after that, you can now display that one on our text box one.text, which is this one, okay? As simple as that. Okay, so if I click this one, it will generate a number 0.7055475. Okay, so if I click again, it will generate another random number, another random number, another random number. So see, it's only generating a random number from 0 to 1. So if you want to have a whole number, okay, so it's also super simple. Just multiply this one to, let's say you want to generate from 1 to 100. I mean 1 to 10. Okay, so just multiply, 100. Just multiply this one to 100. Okay, so this number now will generate up to 100. Okay, however, it still has a decimal, so 70, 53 point something, etc., etc. So if you want to have a whole number, that's also okay. Okay, as long as you have this format function, and you can now, oops, it's correct. So let me put zoom on the another parenthesis and then comma. Oops, is it lagging? And then we have this format 0.00. Wait a second. I think it doesn't need the apostrophe. Okay, let's try this one. So there you go. This will now generate a whole number, okay, without a decimal point. Okay. So what else? Okay. So I forgot to mention this one actually has a bug, or uh, let's say a fatal flaw, wherein, let me just remove this one. Okay, wherein our first generated number is a fixed value. Okay, so it will always generate the 0.7055475. Okay, so let's try again. So initially, that's always the number that it will generate, 0.7055475. So that is why Visual Basic created a remedy for this one, this value right here, 0.7055475. So let me introduce to you another function which is called randomize. So basically, we're going to randomize the randomizer. Okay, so we're going to use a total of 2 randomizer in one function, so that we can solve this kind of problem. Okay, so all you need to do is put the randomize here, so that our first number is not set 0.75475 anymore. Okay, so we now have a complete working randomizer. Okay, so this is not biased anymore. We cannot predict what is the next number. Okay, with the use of another randomizer. Okay, so are we clear with that one so far for those two function, R and D, and then randomize? What about the others?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So this is one helpful function. So just remember this one and then the syntax. Okay. So we have here alternative solution to bingo. So before, we have to type that one, okay, using this numeric up down. But in here, okay, we can just have a button so that it can generate a random number. Okay, so the same with bingo, we shuffle it, right? And then we don't know which what do you call this one, which chip or which number will be picked. Okay, so this is also a, you know, a good function for us to have a complete working bingo game. Okay, like we don't really know what number will come next. So let me just show to you guys what will happen. So in here we have a randomize. So for us to be able to solve this R and D function, so we're going to multiply this one by 100 since we wanted to generate a range of number from 1, okay, to 100. Okay, so with that, this will now generate that kind of number. However, in bingo, remember that we only have up to 75. Okay, that's the maximum number. So as you guys can see, we have this let's say cases. Okay, for this case, we have 1 to 15, which is will generate letter B. 16 to 30 is I. 31 to 45 is N. 46 to 60 is G. And then the last one, okay, other than those, okay, if none of those were correct, it will fall on our letter O, which is 61 up to 75. However, if it falls to, let's say, 88, 85, it will still display letter O, okay, or this else case right here, okay. So as a remedy, okay, so we have this else right here, okay, another else wherein we have this function go to rep. So I think it's very straightforward. Okay, if none of those were true, let's say, because in here initially we are already checking if it's equal or less than 75. Okay, so if none of those were true, were true, then it will fall on this else statement, meaning the number might be 77, 78, 89, 90, or anything that is beyond 75. Okay, so this go to rep will just basically go to this variable rep. So where is this rep? It's right here. Okay, so it will generate again another number, okay, and then until it falls to this condition right here. So once this one became true, then it will not generate another random number again. Okay, so this is another solution, okay, because we cannot limit the range of the number that it can generate. So this is a solution wherein if it's beyond 75, 75 and above, then we can use this function go to rep so that it can generate again another random number, and then it will only stay on this range right here, okay, which is the word bingo. Okay, so let me just show this one. Alternative solution to bingo. Okay, so this rep right here can be, can be any variable. Okay, so one thing, you don't also need to declare this one. You can just put here the name that you wanted to use, let's say loop one, or go back, copy, and then paste. Okay, so that's also possible. Go back, okay, or go to line 5. Okay, because this is line 5. Okay, so as long as they are the same, okay, and then the variable that you've used is not a special variable. Okay, so after this, where is the play button? F5. Okay, Okay, so in here, generate a random number. So 62 is O, 21 is I, 45 is N, and so on and so forth. Okay, so as you guys can see, it will never generate a number of 75 and above due to this line of code right here. Okay, so were you guys able to follow so far on this example? Okay, so I hope the others were able to follow also. Anyway, so moving on, we have this another randomizer. So this is the third type of randomizer. So this is the best randomizer that I could say, since this is in all in one. Okay, so as you guys can see right here, let's say we declared a variable dim number as new random. Okay, so it's not integer, it's not single, it's not double, it's not string. Okay, just generate, I mean, just declare this variable as a new random. Then this variable now will generate a random number. Okay, plus it can limit the range, the number that it can generate. Okay, like for example, dim x as integer. So this is where we are going to display the randomized number. Okay, so just use this one. So no dot next and then up to 25. But just take note that when I say 25, it means 25 characters. So it's not 1 to 25, but it's 0 to 24. So if you want to generate a number from up to 25, so this one should be 26. Okay, so it's always less 1 due to we have to start at 0. Okay, so if I will show this one to you guys, it will work the same. Open project. Mali yata yung pinili ko kanina. Anyway, yeah, iba nga. So let's do that one by one. Dim number as new random. And then dim x as integer. Okay, so this one also dictates will it accept, okay, or will it display a whole number, or will it display a decimal. So if you want a whole number, just declare this one as integer. Okay, if you want to display this one an a decimal, then use single or double. Okay, and then next is ano ba yung susunod? Okay, wala kasi siyang ginamit ng text box. So, sa atin, mag-generate muna tayo ng number. Let's say we want to generate a number from 0 to 30. So, this one will become 31. Okay, and then we're going to display this one on text box 1.text. So, this is our text box 1, and then this is the button. Random. Okay, let's try this one out. Where did my play button go? What happened? Let me just reset. But anyway, just use F5. Okay, so here's now the randomizer. So this is a randomizer wherein yeah, same. It will generate a value from 0 to 30. Okay. Parang may nakita akong 31 kanina. Anyway, guni-guni ko lang natin. So if you want to have a decimal, then just change this integer to single or double. Oops. Ayaw pa rin. So I think it's only limited to whole number, I guess. Even though we've changed the variable type of this x, wherein it can display now a decimal. Let me just try this one out. Okay, so initially, so this even though this one is single or double, this will only really display a whole number. Okay, so that is one limitation of this new random. So if you want to generate a decimal, okay, when it's completely decimal, so 0 point something, then you have to use the first randomizer, the RND function. Okay, so yeah, that's it with this randomizer. So this is a new random. So we have another alternative solution. So I will not show this one to you guys anymore since we've just used the same concept, just a different uh, function. Okay. So in here, we have this new random declared as a new random, and then dim x as the integer. So this is where we are displaying, okay, that letter right here. And then this will generate a number from 0 to 75, okay, right here. And then if well, go to next. Why do we have this one? Because this will surely. I see. Okay. So the reason why we have this one, this go to, and then this variable right here, because there is a chance that this will generate a value of 0. Okay. So take note that this new random will generate a 0 number, but in Mingo we don't have 0 numbers. So just in case it generate a 0 number, so it will not fall in this one, so it will go to else, and then it will now go to this function, go to, and the next. So it will generate again another random number. Okay. So next one is the select case statement. So let me just clarify this one. Okay. So if we have RND function, okay, wherein of course the role of this one is to generate a random number, which is the same with randomize, okay, wherein the role of this one is to generate a random number, okay, which is again the same with a new random, okay, which is again to generate a random number. So as you guys can see, you have three ways to generate a random number. Okay, so in cases, okay, or let's just say, yeah, cases is the best term for that one. So if we have many cases, okay, or many if statements, okay, so we can use two, okay, that is the if statement or the case or select case statement. Okay, so either of those two will give you the same result. Okay, it's just your preference on which one or which syntax you're going to use. Okay, so both of them can do what the other thing can do. Okay, so both of them doesn't have that kind of limitation. So yeah, either of them will be fine. Okay, it's just now your own preference which one you're going to use. Okay. So without a further delay, let me introduce to you guys the select case statement. So in here, we have the syntax right here. So it can be used when there are multiple selection possibilities. So syntax, select case, and then the variable name. And then here's the first case. So here's the condition and then the statement. So if this is true, it will execute this statement. So if this one is not true, then it might proceed to another case. So if this condition right here is true, then it will execute this statement. So take note, it says here statement, so you can also have as many statements as you want. Okay. So if none of those were true, then it will proceed to this case else. So in if statement, we only have else, but in here we have case. So if in if statement, we have if right here, but in here we have case. Okay. So we just change some of the terminologies when it comes to the syntax. Okay. So the main advantage of select statement is the condition and then the statement. Okay, so you guys will see later on that this one is much more simpler to use, much more easier to use, much more easier to implement. Okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, everything in here is a lot easier than using an if else statement. Okay, so instead of having an end if right here, will give us an end select. ending syntax. Okay, so without a further delay, let me introduce this if statement. So before, we already have this example using if statement. So it's just a different different condition, and then different statement. So if age is equal to 5, then category is equal to 5-year-old. Else if greater than or equal to 13 and age is less than or equal to 19. Okay, wherein 13 19 is of course teenager. And then in here 20 to 35, or age is equal to 50, or age is less than, I mean greater than or equal to 60, and then age is less than or equal to 65, meaning 60 to 65, then the category is special adult. Okay, and then else if, okay, so if none of those were true, then it will proceed to this one. So 65 and above is already considered as a senior citizen. And if none of those were true, then it will proceed to this last category, wherein it will say everyone else. Okay, so this is just an example, but if you guys are going to compare this one using a select case statement, so as you guys can see, age is equal to 5. In here, we'll just say a case 5, because the variable is already declared on the initial slide right here. Not initial slide, the initial line of code right here, wherein we have this one select case and then age. Okay, and then after that, in if statement, we have this age is equal to 5, blah blah blah, and then the statement, right? So in here, we're just going to say 5, and then category is equal to 5-year-old. Okay, and in here we have 13 to 19, so we have to use those what do you call this one, a comparator. Okay, greater than, equal to, less than, equal to, etc etc. But in here, we're just going to say 13 to 19. Okay, so instead of having this long line of code just to say that we have an age 13 to 19, we have to use those comparator. But in here, you just need to use the word to. Okay, so 13 to 19 is teenager, 20 to 35 exactly 50, and then 60 to 65 is a special adult. Comparing this third case right here, in here, this one is quite long to uh, to write as a code, to implement as a code. Okay, and then at the same time, it's not easy to understand, not that straightforward as the case statement. Okay, so this line of code can be converted into this line of code in case statement. Okay, so 20 to 35, 50, 60 to 65 is a special adult. Okay, and then greater than 65 is senior citizen. And then if none of those were true, then it will fall on this everyone else. Okay, so I hope you guys were able to get the concept, or at least the syntax, okay, of select case statement. Because at the end of the day, you're the one who's going to decide which one you're going to use. Both of them is correct. Both of them is okay. Okay, so it's now your own preference which one you're going to use. Okay, so are we clear so far with the syntax of select case statement? Okay, all right, so great. So let's have an exercise. So it says here, revise using select case statement. So we have this if else blah 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 blah. So let me just copy this one, and then let me show this one to you guys. So new project, and I'll name this one, what should I name this one? Exercise number 1. All right, so in here, what do we need to display? we need to display like a bingo. Okay, and then we can use numeric up down. Okay, numeric up down. Then what else we need? Label. And we need two labels. So let me just change the font size into 50 and this one into 60. This is the one that we're going to use to display. Sige, okay lang yung label 1. And in here, number, bingo number. And then here's the equivalent letter. Okay, on this label 1 right here. And then this is the one that we're going to program. So let me just copy and paste this one. Make it real quick. And declare this num as integer. Okay. And this numeric up down is named numeric up down 1. Okay, let me just fix this one real quick. And this letter right here is label 1, label 1. Ayaw. Else if 16 num and num label 1 else if okay, great. Let's try this one. Okay, so 0 to 15 and 1 to 15 is B, and then 16 and above up to 31 is I, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you can also type right here 67, which is O. So our goal is to change this one into select case statement. So that's super easy. So for the declaration, we don't need to change anything on that one. So in here, instead of declaring the variable num on every condition, we are going to declare that one here. Okay, oops. And then this if right here will become case. Okay, and this condition right here is 1 to 15. Then this one will become 1 to 15. And then we don't need that then. And then for the statement, it will stay the same. Okay, it's just that the condition that will be changed. So in here, 16 to 30. 16 to 30, and then we don't need that then. And then 31 to 45. Remove the 10. And then 46 to 60. How many time do we have more? Okay, so since we don't have enough time anymore, we'll just continue this one on the part 2. Okay, so goodbye for now, and then see you guys later.